Shri Hanuman Chalisa is one of the most famous prayers or hymns in the vast treasure house of the spiritual literature of Bharat or India. It was composed by the great saint and poet Shri Goswami Tulsidas, who also wrote the more popular version of the Ramayana known as Shri Ramcharit Manas or Tulsi Ramayan. As its title suggests, the Hanuman Chalisa comprises 40 distinct verses, Chalisa, in the praise of the most lovable character in the Ramayana, Shri Hanumanji. Strictly speaking, the Hindu tradition asserts that there is only one infinite God. However, it also recognizes that his manifestations are innumerable and that he can therefore be worshipped in all aspects or forms of the universe. Of the great number of such deities worshipped in the holy land of Bharat, Shri Hanumanji stands out as the favorite of most devotees. Even though a devotee himself, Shri Hanumanji is worshipable because of his boundless service and total surrender to the Lord in the form of Shri Ram. In him we see how the sevak or servant fulfills the Lord's will, surrendering his own ego and individuality in complete devotion. The lover and the beloved thus become one in love. Between the devotee and the Lord there is then no difference. Also in the spiritual literature of India, we find some mantras called Siddha mantras. These are sacred chants which many great saints have meditated upon and which have such tremendous power that whosoever repeats these mantras can definitely attain their goals and have their heart's desires fulfilled. In this connection, it is believed that the whole of Sri Tulsidas Ji's Ramayana is a Siddha Grantha. That is to say, if anyone recites or even just reads it, his heart's desires will certainly be fulfilled. Similarly, the Shri Hanuman Chalisa is also a Siddha Grantha. Not only that, the Shri Hanuman Chalisa is as much a manual of the secrets of success in both the material and spiritual spheres as it is an outpouring of devotion. Truly, millions of people round the world will vouch for its great power and the many wonders it has done in their lives. Shri Guru Charan Sarooja-raj, with the dust of the lotus feet of my Shri Guru, Nija manu Mukura Sudhaari, I cleanse the mirror of my mind. Baranau Rahubhara Bimala Jasu, and then narrate the spotless glories of the best among the Raghu dynasty, Jo Dayaka Phala Chari, who is the giver of all the four goals man aspires for. A guru is a teacher. All knowledge we get in the world, we get initially from a teacher, and therefore the teacher is revered. But of all our teachers, the spiritual teacher who reveals to us the knowledge of our true self, destroys all our limitations and sorrows, and frees us from bondage due to the results of actions done in countless lives, is indeed the greatest, and it is this teacher who is called as Shri Guru. For millions of lifetimes, our mind has remained neglected, gathering the dust of greed, passion, lust, and anger. The mind was meant to be like a pure shining mirror, reflecting the divinity that shines everywhere. But gathering to itself all the negative tendencies or sins, the beauty present everywhere is no longer seen in it. Which powerful detergent then, other than the sacred dust of the lotus feet of one's Shri Guru, can clean the mirror of the mind instantly? In short, Tulsidas Ji is saying, the remembrance of one's spiritual teacher with reverence and humility is alone the one sure means to purify the mind instantly. Having cleaned the mirror of the mind, Tulsidas Ji then sings the glory of Shri Raghuvir. Normally, One might think Raghuvara here refers to Shri Ram, the best among the Raghu dynasty. But no, it is in fact Shri Hanumanji. All relationships are not necessarily by blood. There is the higher and truer relationship of love. Even today, Shri Krishna is known first as Yashoda-Nandan and then as Devaki-Nandan, though he was born to Mother Devaki. Hanumanji served Shri Ram and Sitaji with such devotion that they called him their son. In that sense, he was adopted into the Raghu dynasty, wasn't he? But why all this fuss about cleaning the heart before singing his glory? It is because Hanumanji's glory is spotless. To live in this world without a flaw or blemish on one's character is next to impossible. The world spares no one. Not even the noble Shri Ram, or the purest of all Sitaji, or the Lord of laughter and joy Shri Krishna was spared the dirt which the world loves to throw. Shri Hanumanji is a most glorious personality in whom there exists no flaw of his own doing, or blemish which the people of the world can accuse him of having. Indeed, so spotless is his character. Therefore, a clean heart is required to sing his glories faithfully. And what are we to get by singing his glories? Tulsidas ji says, we can get whatever we wish. All the goals that anyone can strive for in this world have been classified by our rishis into 4. Artha or wealth, Kama, pleasure, Dharma, religious merit that leads to the attainment of heaven, and Moksha, the state of liberation and infinite bliss. Thus, Artha, Kama, Dharma and Moksha all can be gained by the grace of Shri Hanumanji, the greatest devotee of Shri Ramchandraji. Budhee-Heen Thanu Jannikay, recognizing myself to be ignorant. Sumirow Pavana Kumara, I remember you, O son of Pavan. Bala-Budhee Vidya Dehoo Mohee, bestow on me strength, intelligence and knowledge. Harahu vikar, and take away all the miseries and poisons of my mind. Many pray, but very few truly know the efficacy of prayer and how one should pray. Prayer is generally misunderstood to be a charge sheet of complaints against God or a shopping list of desires. Indeed, our prayers are nothing more than sheer beggary. Then what exactly is prayer? In our everyday life, as we try to achieve our goals and fulfill our desires, we frequently find ourselves incapable of doing so due to our natural limitations as beings. But when we surrender in devotion at the altar of the all-knowing, all-powerful and all-compassionate, liquidating our limited ego, the power of the higher flows through us and helps us achieve that which seemed difficult or impossible. Shri Hanuman Chalisa is a perfect example of a prayer and how we should pray. There are 5 essential steps in prayer. First is Naman, prostrations or humility. Second is Smaran, invoking the presence of the Lord in the mind. Third, Kirtanam or Stuti, singing the glories of the Lord, followed by Yachanam or asking of the boons. And finally, Arpanam or surrender. To prostrate is to have an attitude of humility. For if we are to ask something of the Lord, it must be done with humility. Very often we approach the Lord with one of our many prides: pride of wealth and power, pride of beauty, and pride of intellect. Of these, the most dangerous and difficult to remove is the pride of the intellect. For wealth, power, and beauty never remain with anyone forever. But he who has pride of the intellect is never ready to accept his own ignorance and thus remains proud and arrogant forever. Therefore, Tulsidas ji, first considering himself to be devoid of intelligence, with humility prays to the humblest of all deities, Shri Hanuman ji. The second essential step in prayer is to invoke the presence of the Lord in the heart. For he is not merely an idol in the temple, he is a living reality, the absolute truth. Call him with love into your heart to listen to your prayer. Sumirow Pavana Kumar. Nowadays, we just barge into the temple and bring out our list of desires and complaints. We should first invoke his presence in the heart, praise him, and then ask him for what we need. Praise is never for the Lord. He does not need it. But it is only when we praise or revere someone that we are capable of surrendering our ego. And it is only when we surrender our ego at the altar of our love and respect that his divinity flows through us. Therefore, Tulsidas ji praises Hanuman ji, addressing him as Pavana Kumar. Pavan or air is that one element in the universe which serves us day and night but never demands any recognition. In fact, rarely do we remember that if it were not for air, we could not live. There is no greater example of service with humility other than Pavan Devata. Hanumanji is the son of Pavan Devata and also an embodiment of service and humility. So how can we approach such a humble one with arrogance? Due to our limitations, we do need to ask. So if we have to beg, why not beg of him who can give us readily? And beg or ask for that after receiving which you will never need to ask again. Tulsidas ji, even though considering himself to be unintelligent, in fact very intelligently asks for Bala, Budhee and Vidya. Give me bal, strength, both physical and mental. Now, one may have a lot of strength, but if he has no intelligence, he may not be able to achieve much. Hence, give me buddhi, a bright intellect. Again, one may be very intellectual, but if he does not have the right knowledge, then his intellect is of no use. Thus, give me vidya, knowledge. As we can see, Tulsidas ji has very cleverly asked to be blessed with the right knowledge, the intellect to apply this knowledge in the field of activity, and the strength to achieve one's goals. Having got these by the grace of the Lord, does one need to ask for anything more? Indeed, everything can be achieved in this world if one has these three. Now that we have asked something of the Lord, should we not offer him something? Tulsidas ji says, what do I have that I can offer except my 5 kleshas, that is all my miseries caused by my ignorance, likes and dislikes, fear of death and ego? What else but my vikaras, the 6 poisons that cause agitations in the mind, lust, anger, greed, attachment, arrogance and jealousy? Hanumanji, the truth is, I am stingy in offering you even these. Since you are a monkey, please steal these away from me. Harahu kalesha bikar. Naturally, when someone wants something, he must approach a person who has that something. Does the monkey Hanumanji have what I am asking for? Jai Hanuman Gyan Guna Sagar. Victory to thee, O Hanuman, ocean of wisdom and virtue. Jai Kapi Satihu Loka Ujagar. Victory to thee, O Lord of the monkeys, light of the 3 worlds. The name Hanuman means one who has received a blow to his chin. The story goes that as a little child, Hanumanji, one fine day, jumped up into the sky in a bid to eat the sun, which he thought to be a ripe, delicious fruit. As he had swallowed the sun, Naturally, the three worlds became dark. The Devatas panicked, and Indra Devata shot his most powerful killer missile called the Vajra at Hanumanji. The mighty child fell to the ground, but with only a broken chin. Fantastic as the story may seem, it effectively indicates the great strength of Hanumanji. Not only is Hanumanji renowned for his strength, but also he is an ocean of knowledge and noble qualities. When Hanumanji presented himself to Ramchandraji for the first time, disguised as a young Brahmin, the manner in which he spoke and introduced himself prompted Shri Ramchandraji to immediately look at Lakshmanji and point out that this was no ordinary Brahmin. He was certainly the knower of all the scriptures, all the rules of grammar and literature. Thus praised by the Lord himself, what a treasure house of knowledge Hanumanji truly must have been. Strength and knowledge together can be very destructive. With all our scientific knowledge, we have developed only inventions to destroy the world. Ravan too had both strength and knowledge, but he managed only to bring about great destruction everywhere, eventually destroying himself. Therefore, it is very important to have values along with our knowledge. We must not only give our children knowledge, but we must also cultivate in them a rich harvest of values. Hanumanji is an ocean of such virtues: love, kindness, humility, service, compassion, forgiveness, courage, valor, etc. Jai kapi satihu lok ujagar. Hanumanji has been called here as the king of monkeys. As we know from the story of the Ramayana, the monkeys were ruled by Bali and Sugriv. Hanumanji was a minister. But while Bali and Sugriv ruled the throne of Kishkinda, Hanumanji sat on the throne of everyone's heart and became well known in the three worlds as the embodiment of strength, knowledge and virtues. We sometimes wonder if a monkey can achieve so much, but it is significant to note that the word kapi does not only mean a monkey. In Sanskrit, it is said, Kam sukham pibati iti kapihi. Kapi is one who drinks the bliss of Brahmananda or the infinite reality. In other words, he who drinks the nectar of devotion to Sri Ram is Kapi. Are not the three worlds enlightened and blessed by such men of realization and devotion, the saints and sages? Are they not the light of the three worlds? Is it not by the effulgence of their knowledge and love that the three worlds are illumined? May you, O Hanumanji, may you be victorious over all the Rakshasic forces in me, the negative tendencies of my heart. Ramaduta Atulita Baladhama, you, the messenger of Ram and the abode of immeasurable strength. Anjaani-putra Pavan Sutanama, also known as the son of Anjani and Pavan Devata. Whenever we introduce ourselves, we normally do so in terms of the most important and famous person we are related to. For example, if our father is dearest to us or is a well-known personality, we introduce ourselves as the son or daughter of Mr. So-and-so. Whenever Hanumanji was asked who he was, he always proudly announced that he was Ramaduta, the messenger of Shri Ram. And isn't it true that our most important relationship is first with the Lord of the universe and then with others? Someone may be an ambassador of a very great person, but if he of himself has no capacity or ability, then he would most definitely spoil his master's work. One thing that strikes us all when we see Hanumanji is that he is Atulita Baladhama, an abode of incomparable strength and an achiever of many wondrous feats. Single-handedly fighting an entire army of Rakshasas, burning the city of Lanka and carrying a whole mountain all the way from the Himalayas to Lanka, to name just a few. We become weak when our minds are full of selfish desires and attachments. Hanumanji has no desires of his own or any attachments. Since he is ever dedicated to the service of the Lord, through him flows the infinite strength of the Lord. Shri Krishna has said in the Gita, Balam balavatam asmi kama raga vivarjitam. I am the strength of the strong, free from lust and attachment. Hanumanji was the son of Anjani. Anjani means one who brings forth brilliance, and a most brilliant one indeed did she bring forth. Anjani was actually a heavenly Apsara married to the monkey chieftain Kesari. She was a great devotee of Lord Shiva, and she prayed to him fervently to beget a son just like him. Once when Lord Shiva heard about Bhagwan Vishnu's Mohini avatar, he insisted upon having a vision of it. Lord Vishnu dissuaded him, but Lord Shiva, because of his extreme devotion to Lord Vishnu, was adamant. Well, when the enchanter of the universe takes the form of the enchantress Mohini, who in the universe will not be infatuated? Lord Shiva madly chased Mohini, and it was during these moments of utter devotion to Lord Vishnu that Lord Shiva's tej or seeds fell, and Pavan Devta, the god of wind, carried it with great care and found the pure Anjani the fit recipient. As Pavan Devta was instrumental in the birth of Hanumanji, Hanumanji is also popularly known as Pavana Sutta or Pavana-putra. The simple reading of this verse is that Ramaduta, Atulita Bhaladhama, Anjaani-putra Pavan Sutta are the various names or nama of Hanuman. But the truth is, Hanumanji's name itself is nama.